What up, Bone Army, coming at you? So, as you guys know, Tree and the Future of Web3. Hear me out. That is the name of the first ever space by Shytoshi Kusama, which happened today. This video is going to air tomorrow, but I have a couple of things to say. First off, I want to thank Random Arts because he posted it. So, we're going to be using that video to hear what Shytoshi Kusama had to say. On the bottom of that, there is a token that isn't related to the Shiba Inu ecosystem. If you want to find out about that token, go to his channel, not related to my channel. Two, before we play the Shytoshi Kusama space, I want you guys to get the image of the Shib army, the Bone army, attacking a machine that is repressive. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna play a video of Mario Savio in speaking in Berkeley way back in the 70s, using this analogy of the system and the machine and how we basically have to make this machine stop, if you will. So this is all related to what Shytoshi Kusama said. And at the very end, I am going to read you something that I believe will try to encapsulate it all. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and get to Mario Savio. All right. So here it is. So Mario Savio, operation of the machine. Here it is.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
All right. So, all right. Obviously, the machine is the system. Okay. And this is all related. Keep in mind, if Ryoshi's vision wasn't to replace the machine, to stop the machine, to make a new system, if you will, which is literally what Shibarium is, a brand new operating system, then what is the point? So this is game changing, revolutionary. It's so revolutionary, people don't even understand what's happening, and I'm here for it. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into it. So once again, this is on Random Arts channel. All right, go ahead and hit that sub, hit that bell, like the video, and let's go ahead and get into it. About 29 minutes because they actually had technical difficulties. Let me just say this before. I don't want this video to go longer than it already is, to be honest. But is Elon Musk fudding Shiba Inu? Is Elon Musk preventing the Shiba Inu leader from speaking? Because why does Shytoshi Kusama have so much trouble? All right, literally, he had to restart the space. So that's why this video, actually on Random Arts channel, starts at 29 minutes when Shytoshi basically had to restart and do a whole new X space. All right. So, all right, with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Once again, Elon is part of the machine. Understand this, my people. All right, let's go.
First space of many that you'll
All right, so I'm gonna
see
mute myself, guys.
begin to discuss Shib and everything that we're building. I'm going to focus on the history of Shib, how we got here, and where we are going. It's important that everyone on this call understand our methodology, though sometimes very unusual, and the motivations behind building the world's first true network state, at least in my humble opinion.
Once again, this is Shytoshi Kusama.
So how did this all begin? Many of you know the story, some of you don't. So it's my pleasure to tell you. Shib started as an experiment only. An experiment in spontaneous community building, an experiment in decentralization, and quite possibly one of the most successful experiments in history. It all started with the vision of Ryoshi. As many of you know, I am Ryoshi, and so are you, and it is a pleasure to meet you. Ryoshi laid out a simple plan, various tokens and various pieces of technology that, when completed, would allow us to effectively overtake Doge and at the same time help, quote, the people, end quote, worldwide. Very simple idea and a simple system. Many of you know it was Shib, Bone, Leash, Treat, and Shi, the stablecoin, as well as Shiba Swap, Shibarium, Shiba Coin, and then I also group Shi into that technology side of things. Now, anyone can complete this system, but that doesn't mean you have the right to scam people. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And for 6 months, nothing took place. You go look at the chart and see that it was quite flat at that time because many people didn't believe in what we are or could accomplish. From the very beginning, there was FUD. This was just a meme, just a joke, and that we would never accomplish any of the technology that we set out to build. Besides, why does it matter in the first place? Within 6 months, I joined Shib just like the rest of you. It's a very small investment. I bought the tokens off the exchange like everyone else. And the original concept that I had was for us to utilize Amazon Smile. Many of you know about Amazon Smile. It is a system that allows or forces Amazon to donate a percentage of your Amazon proceeds to charity. And my concept was, if we all chose the same nonprofit, and at the time there was only 6,000 of us in the chat, just like there's only a few of you now listening out of our vast Shib army. That's okay. At the time, this concept seemed like a good one. And Ryoshi agreed and asked if I would like to be the visionary to complete this system. And I obliged, thinking that, of course, like every other project, we have a large budget, a nice dev team ready to go. And I found out very quickly that is not the case. In fact, true decentralization means you have to do it yourself, which is exactly what we have done up to this point, pushing and building through the FUD and the dips in the market, some would say the bear market, to complete something quite phenomenal, or almost complete something quite phenomenal. Quite phenomenal, or almost complete something quite phenomenal. At first, many of you have been with us for many years, remember the FUD that Shiba Swap would never be completed. And it was. Those of you who have been with us for just a few years, remember the FUD that Shibarium would never be completed. And yes, I must admit that we've adjusted things to make sure that we have something that is robust and that works quite well. And I want all of you to remember that Shibarium has well over 700 million transactions, which is 7 times, or approximately 7 times the output of Cardano. You'll be hearing me talk a lot about Cardano and XRP. I'll explain why as we continue. When we reached the point that Shibarium was ready for release, which is approximately August 2023, I believe, it's been over a year, we came to a realization that the army is not just a meme, it's not just an idea or just a community, but instead, because of 4 very distinct things, it should be classified as a sovereign state. And let me give it to you so you can DYOR and check it. According to the Montevideo Convention, which was completed in Argentina in 1930-ish, as a treaty between the US and Argentina, any state can declare sovereignty if it has 4 qualities. Those 4 qualities are: 1, it must have a community, technically citizens or citizens, as we like to say. Number 2, it must have governance, the ability for this community to govern itself. And number 3, it must have a territory. And there's a loophole here. Because it was written in 1933, it does not specify if that territory must be digital or physical. So for now, we have kept the concept that this territory is digital, obviously, and many of you have visited our beautiful metaverse and been to our territory. And finally, you must have the ability to go into treaties with other states. We have that ability, so we check off all 4 boxes, and therefore, begrudgingly, and in a very fun meme manner, declare sovereignty. This was done through the Shib paper and at the release of Shibarium, which received hundreds of millions of hits at the same time, and has since then run flawlessly due to the hard work of the team. Now, after the completion of Shibarium, a new question presented itself, something that I haven't really discussed with you all, but I'm happy to discuss it now. That question is, what exactly does a nation state, and let me just quickly say, shortly thereafter, we learned that there was the concept of a network state, which was coined by Balaji, the CTO or former CTO of Coinbase. He wrote a book about it. You should read it. It's called The Network State. I haven't read it, for the record. Don't need to, because while he had written that book 2 years earlier, well, now 4 years earlier, we were busy building this network state. Love you, Balaji. Now, again, what does a network state or a nation state need to power itself completely? What would an operating system look like for this state? This is a good question when you consider it. Think about it for a second. When you look at all the crypto projects out there, and you can name any of them, from XRP, Cardano, Sui, Doge, etc., there isn't a complete operating system available. Closest, in my opinion, is Coinbase, which, ironically enough, tends to be one of our competitors in this space, even though most of you may not consider it to be, but I do. Love them too. Now, in a decentralized world, this operating system will require certain technologies. These technologies need to work together to make it very easy to onboard users. And let me just take a moment to say this. How funny is it that the fudders dare say that we are being silly trying to onboard the next billion users? What else do you think we should be doing, geniuses? You think we should be just having fun? No. You don't understand. From my position, we have to develop a strategy to ensure, or at least we would like to design a strategy that would ensure adoption worldwide, because it is adoption that will drive everything else, burns, etc., etc. Adoption becomes extremely important. Now, this operating system will require certain things. Slowly and very quietly, but if you've been paying attention, you'll notice we've been doing this for years now. Will require certain things. First, it will require some sort of self-sovereign identity system. That was the first step we announced. We would build self-sovereign identity so that you control your identity, you control your funds, very different than every centralized system. Next, any true operating system for a network state would require some sort of system that ensured data protection. Now, data protection is very important. You can count, or maybe you can't, the number of issues with data that we've seen in the last few years, from hacks to all types of issues that can only be resolved with a quantum proof system. And that is why we chose Zama FHE as a secondary concept for this operating system. And then we just went all in, and Kyle completed, alongside a robust decentralized team, the vision that I've set forth for well over 36 different pieces of technology that complete this operating system in full. Now, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, and I'm sure the fudders will, that there's another project that has built a system in this manner. No, you can go down the top 20. I don't actually see any. Nope. This is the difference between Shib and everything else. While many people consider us a meme and an underdog, I consider us a sleeper, because what we have built is a turnkey solution for any person, business, project, city, or even country to move from Web 2 to Web 3. Now, at first concept, this might seem to be either overkill, silly, or well out there. In fact, we've pitched many individuals over this last year. We've pitched VCs, obviously. We've pitched interested entities that I will not name at this time, but you'll hear about very shortly. And we've pitched a variety of businesses. And usually the concept that when they realize what we have, and the different pieces of technology, which I've termed the 36 chambers of tech, just for fun, is, well, that makes a lot of sense. Why doesn't every chain have that? Well, that makes it really easy for me to move to what you guys are building. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty damn sweet. Sometimes we even get types of reactions like, either you guys are completely mad or completely genius, and I'm not sure if it's either or both. I'll leave that up for you to decide. But essentially, having this operating system alongside our entire governance system, multi-token governance system, complete network state, complete Shib paper, and everything else that we built makes us, in my opinion, an easy choice for those who are what we term the crypto curious. Now, at this point in our journey towards the future, it's my job to make sure that all of you understand what we have, so that you can make sure that everyone else understands what we have. Now, I'm still very limited in what I will talk about and what I can say for a variety of reasons, but there are some things I'd like to clarify. First is a little bit about TREAT. TREAT is an acronym. You've seen me post it a few times. It stands for transactional rewards for engagement. That's one side of what it does. And access token, that's the second side of what it does. It gives access to these pieces of technology, the most well-known being fully homomorphic encryption, other ones including attestation, or sometimes it actually just rewards these systems such as karma or reputation or aura. It is my pleasure to reveal all of these different technologies that we've been working on that span from FHE to AI, agentic systems, and obviously more for our metaverse and our NFT projects. Recently, we've revealed the additional utilities for Bone, have not yet revealed the additional utility for Leash, but we would like to soon. And it will be my pleasure, ideally very soon, to reveal our new friends, is what I'll say. It's important to note that this has not been easy. We're up against people who are bigger, stronger with larger treasuries, but they are, in essence, thinking in the incorrect direction, in my opinion. And I believe that what we built totally changes everything. Over the next few weeks and days, we'll be releasing a lot of information, explaining in detail what we have built. We'll dig into Y Combinator and the first projects that we have been in discussions with for various months that we build this operating system, and how they will utilize this operating system, this ecosystem of projects, to bring, well, essentially eyeballs and other value to our ecosystem. We're very excited about this because it is at that point that I believe no one else or no one will be able to fade us again. So I hope you enjoyed this very quick conversation and kind of recap. I'll be doing this more often now that we've worked through some technical difficulties. And I'll be breaking down into detail a lot of information and explaining to you all exactly why we are the strongest, in my opinion, strongest crypto community and strongest brand in the space, hands down, with no competition. In the future, I'll open this up to questions, but today is not that day. Again, this is just a recap of the past, how we got to this point. Most of you already know all of our utilities for Shib, Bone, Leash, and Treat. Most of you understand exactly what we're building. And for many of you, hearing that we have an operating system that allows anyone to move from Web 2 to Web 3 simply may be new, but it's exactly why Shib is a game changer. And why we work so quietly, because we like to make sure that the people who are larger, stronger, and have a larger treasury cannot shift into our lane, I'll put it that way. But now you know which lane we're in. It's a good one for us to focus on growing our ecosystem, growing our community, changing our viewpoint, or the viewpoint that the world has about us, from these guys are just a meme, it's a joke, they don't have any tech. You know how much that drives me crazy when we worked so many years at this stuff? To, hey, wait a minute, maybe we were sleeping on Shib. These guys do have an incredible stack. Why doesn't X do that? Why doesn't Y do that? This is crazy. And then prove to the world that we weren't kidding around this entire time. I'll be pushing this forward, and I'll need all of your assistance as I do, because if there's anything I can assure you, everyone will turn to look at us soon. And when they do, I will need all of you to bark as loud as you can, explain exactly why, and make sure that no one ever doubts us again in what we have done and built. Until next time, which will be soon, take care.
All right, so that right there was Shytoshi Kusama. Once again, big up and thank you to Random Arts for uploading the live, actually, because I was at work. I wasn't able to do it. And you guys know, because of literally how Shytoshi Kusama was saying he's limited for various reasons, I'm actually permanently banned on Twitter. That's right. So I understand exactly what he said. When you start pushing a little too much against the system, you will also get pushed back. So now that you understand kind of what he was saying, I'm going to go ahead and play that video again, the Mario Savio video, so you can maybe relate to it more, understand the forces we're up against. All right, here it goes.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
All right. So this is a little something that I thought I should read to you guys as well. Um, and it goes a little something like this. And basically, keep in mind, this is a battle. This is a battle, all right? And it is an invisible battle. And that's what makes it even more difficult. So the fact that the Shiba Inu ecosystem is on this path literally puts it in its own lane. So when Shytoshi says that it drives him crazy to be considered a meme coin, the unfortunate reality is that Shiba Inu will always be a meme coin, but it is going to be the meme coin that really fostered a revolutionary technological paradigm shift in cryptocurrency. Okay, so basically, capitalism, which is the machine, my people, you have this fiat inflationary centralized capitalism is the machine. Okay, and it operates as an invisible machine, quietly siphoning the wealth created by labor while concentrating power in the hands of a few. Its gears turn on exploitation, forcing the majority to toil endlessly while their efforts enrich the elite. But within this system of inequality, the Shiba Inu ecosystem emerges as a beacon of decentralization and hope, in my opinion. And of course, not financial advice. But with its deflationary tokenomics, or economics, as I like to say, and community driven principles, it offers a radical, I would say revolutionary alternative, a financial model where value flows back to the proletariat, to the working class, to the people. Shibarium and tokens like Bone and Treat aren't just tools, they are symbols and of economic liberation, proving that decentralized systems can challenge the status quo. Together, they empower the proletariat class, giving the masses the opportunity to reclaim autonomy and dismantle the invisible chains of traditional finance. All right. So, with that said, I know sometimes I have to hit you guys with a little extra because I want you guys to fully understand how deep this battle is, how important the Shiba Inu ecosystem, the Shiba Inu project, the Shiba Inu movement, the Shiba Inu revolution is. Okay. So, with that said, I go by Crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army, just came at you, letting you guys know that Shiba Inu and the entire team, like Shytoshi Kusama, the leader, is over here trying to expose and generate some buzz, trying to make sure that, trying to educate the army for the upcoming battle. And like he said, when these forces start rearing their head, he's going to need all of us to bark as loud as we can. And that's basically what my channel is, my way of saying hashtag wolf to the shadow cats, the centralized evil entities out there. With that said, if you want more brap right there, go ahead and follow Random Arts channel, who was dope enough to upload this and basically help me. I didn't look anywhere else. I saw it there. I'm like, I'm just using that. Big up to Shytoshi Kusama for doing this, giving utility to the metaverse and his Twitter, and of course, bringing the army together in unity, bringing community to the community. All right. And with that said, like I said, if you want more right there, I go by Crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army. If you got any value, hit that sub, hit that like, bell it up, because some of my stuff is time sensitive and urgent. And that way you can be notified when I drop content or when I go live. All right. With that said, I appreciate you. And like I like to say, I'm Bone Army, you're Bone Army. We are the Bone Army. Doses.